Okay, great. That was so wonderful. So we are now going to move to our fourth presentation. Dr. Crystal Omni, and let me see. All right, wonderful. And your presentation, oh, sorry, I just noticed it. Oh, is titled Nature is God, a Black Woman's Spiritual Omni Manifesto.
Yes. Thank you so very much for the invitation to be here. And the way I present is very atypical. So I want to go back to this first slide and invite you because I believe in interaction. I do not like sit and gets when I teach. I don't like sit and gets when I present. So if you have your phone, go ahead and scan that QR code because this is going to be a very interactive engagement. So as Dr. Anna just presented, my name is Dr. Crystal Michelle Omni, and I lean into the fullness of my three names. Both my first and my middle name were offered to me by my mom, and she is my ancestor now, and we are about to approach the 10th anniversary of her passing. So March 31st, 2026 will mark that 10th anniversary. But with the title, I had to be very careful because I started to think about the concept of eco-spirituality near the end of her life. The day that she died, March 31st, 2016 at 10:20 a.m., I was painting her nails and my nails. She had already gone into the deep sleep, and we were having a moment together where I knew, like, for the last 4 days, she was not responsive. And I knew that any minute that she would no longer be on this earthly plane. But as painting her nails and my nails, I smudged one of our nails, or I smudged one of my nails. And I went to the window, opened up the window, and wanted some fresh air to come in. There was actually a cardinal outside of the window, walking on the ground, looking up into the window. I wish I would have captured that at that time. I was not into photo elicitation interviewing as a research method or photo voice at that time, but I vividly remember this cardinal. And so much so that I actually put the tattoo on my heart. But I was born and raised a Baptist, and it was difficult for me to come to terms with having to tell my parents that I am divorcing the dominant Black Baptist narrative and I'm going to adopt something that is uniquely mine and also culturally rich and indigenous. So, this is where eco spirituality came in, but I did not give voice to it until after Mama transitioned. And my dad is still alive, and he knows that this is part of my identity. But I wanted to lean in fully to my three names because my dad likes to call me Michelle. He calls my daughter Michelle. That is her middle name as well. So hopefully by this time you already had a chance to hit the QR code. Next slide, please. All right, so if you already have the QR code, you will see this question come up. We are going to create an ancestral altar together, and I don't know why this is only showing just the slide and not the names, but I want to hold space right now for you to type in the name of somebody who you love who's no longer on this earthly plane. We're going to hold space for them in this moment. So can somebody tell me if you see it on your phone?
It says on mine there are no active polls at this moment.
Okay.
But
Okay. Well, thank you for that. We'll put it in the chat. This is about being flexible and moving on to the next step. So feel free to recognize somebody and we're going to hold space for them. I know I only have 15 minutes, but let me give you a little brief snippet of my background. I am the 3MT champion for Kansas State University, Florida State University, and also second place 5MR presenter. So within both of those spaces, I am able to conduct my research and deliver it in 3 minutes with one slide for 3MT. And for 5MR, it was 5 minutes and several slides. So really all I need is 3 minutes of your time. So I'm checking the chat, seeing if anybody had a chance. Thank you very much. Miriam, my mother, We hold space for you. Victor, we hold space for you. We bring you into this conversation. Lice, I apologize if I mispronounced. Denise, we bring you into this space as part of this conversation. Please continue. Marion, my spouse's grandmother. Yes, grandmas. Woo! That is definitely going to come into this presentation. Yes, grandpas, bringing it into this conversation. Bring the names, because we need to always recognize them as being here on the spiritual plane, even though we're walking in this earthly plane. So as I talk, continue to bring their names in. Next slide, please. As they prepare to bring the next slide over, it looks like they're trying to move the slide. And if it's not working, then I'm just going to roll with the discussion. So we will talk about the study. This theory, there we go. Thank you very much for advance. I was ready to go into the next one. We got to be flexible. We got to move. Nope. Back to goals and methods. Thank you so very much. It's working. We breathe and we get right on into it. So the goal of this research, it is really rooted in narrative inquiry. So I'm glad that that was brought up in one of the other one of the other discussions, that this is, y'all, I could not make this up. I'm looking out the window right now and there's a red cardinal in the tree. There's not been a red cardinal this whole, oh my God. Hey, mama. All right, so back to where we were. So this is narrative inquiry. This is autoethnographic research, but it's more than that. It's involving nature. And if you can advance to the next slide, I would really like for them to see the goals and the methods. And if not, you're just gonna have to listen to me. So I developed this concept, which I say I developed, but there's no such thing as an original thought. There's only original execution. So this is very Afro-Indigenous in the approach. But when you look at eco-autoethnographic research, I want you to break down those three words. Ethnography, we're looking at culture, we're looking at experiences. Auto, we're looking at ourself within a larger cultural context. And eco, we are looking at nature. So I decided to create this study. Right now, this is the third version of this study. The first one involved 3 Black women in Tallahassee, Florida, ranging in ages between 24, 34, or actually 4 Black women, I was in there as well, 48 and 58. The second version of this study was offered in Sarasota, Florida, with 2 Black women who were older. So we're looking at 65 and 70. And then I brought it back around to focus on the autoethnographic component. I really wanted y'all to see these pictures because they all came from Guatemala. I just spent 6 days in Guatemala, got back this weekend, and I didn't realize I was going to be engaging in that research at the time, but this is what I live, so it just became an organic practice. The goal of eco-autoethnographic research is really to get you to slow down. It is to get you to engage in deep observation. And if you cannot advance the slide, can you just go ahead and stop it altogether? Oh, there we go. Thank you. So I wanted to be able to articulate this form of eco-spirituality as a framework where it is about connecting to the divine. It's about relationships with Mother Earth. And I pause to recognize that not everybody's going to use the language of Mother Earth. You may use nature, you may use environment, you may use Gaia. Whatever your reference is, go ahead and put that in the chat, because I did say that this is interactive. I want to know how you reference Mother Earth for me. So I told you that it employs eco-autoethnography, but when we're looking at the analysis, it is truly about embodied knowledge. And if you're not familiar with this concept, I want you to think about when you are in nature, or when you are even sitting around your home and you get goosebumps, or you smell something and you just have this visceral reaction, and you know that something has happened or is about to happen. You just have this feeling. Embodied knowledge is being able to tap into these various forms of knowing through our senses. This is not your typical white patriarchy. This is not heteronormative practices. This is cultural knowing. And to have language for it, use it. This is something that is in the literature. And the methods that I employed for this study and for the previous versions, all about field notes, all about embodied observation. What am I seeing? What am I smelling? How am I moving in the space? Because one time the sun was shining on me and I'm moving with the clouds. So we were engaged in this mindful movement, and it seemed like it was a conversation with the sky. You're not going to find that in a textbook, and you barely find that in literature. But that's why this type of framework and this type of communication is essential. Then intentional sitting is not just sitting. So I decided that I wanted to stand up today for intentional standing, that I wanted to be grounded, and wherever you are, I want you to be present. So if you are sitting, let's take this moment to pause and inhale and exhale. Just a simple breath allows us to be intentional, and that simple breath work is a method. So bringing in our natural knowing of how we relate with one another and how we relate with the world, that's all relational. All right, next slide, please. And that is me. So we don't have time for that. Sorry. Thank you so very much. So what you saw on that last slide was me at the beginning of a healing ceremony in Guatemala. And at the end, you'll see how you can reach me if you want to have a longer presentation. But what we're looking at here is like the results, but you're really never finished. This is something, when you look at relationships with people, I believe that people come into your life for a reason, a season, or a lifetime. So when it comes to engaging with Mother Earth, reasons all the time, seasons all the time. Even my grandmother, y'all. So when I saw grandma in the chat, my grandma wrote in her Bible, April 16th, 1973. This is before I was born, but I have her handwriting, and she said, write your seasons. Couldn't make that up if I tried. And at first I thought seasons really meant the 4 seasons, but no. She's talking about the season of life. I'm in the season of life where it's, and at 51 years old, I'm in a space where, you know what, if you get it, you get it. If not, it wasn't meant for you. This is really about my vibe attracting my tribe. And this is a tribe that knows the power of nature engagement. A tribe that knows the power of engaging with our elders in respect and reverence. When I saw that slide on aging, and I'm like, oh, yes, aging with appreciation and dignity. I know I have 2.5 minutes and we were going to get through this. All right, thank you so very much. So the results are never finished, but this is about having prolonged, attentive engagement with the natural world. You can read the rest of it. Let's go to the next slide. So since I only have 2 minutes, and I can feel the presence of my ancestors when I am in nature. Somebody is already starting to respond. Beautiful. Next slide, please. So what I'm showing right now for a conclusion, and I go back and really emphasize that this is not finished. There are different versions that continue to emerge, because when you think about it, there are different versions of us who are sitting and standing here today. The Crystal Michelle Omni of 2026 is not the same Crystal Michelle Omni of 2016. But you can read the conclusions right here. And I really want to focus on this part of this work contributes a spiritually resonant, ecologically grounded approach to environmental humanities, eco-womanism, Black feminist studies, and spiritual ecology. Y'all, we're doing some heavy lifting in the field of eco-spirituality. Next slide, please. Now, of course, I want to make sure that this doesn't just stay inside of the 4 walls of the academy. I take it out into the community. So in order to take it out into the community, I'm now inviting you into this practice. Next slide, please. Halo, pull out that camera again. Halo is a weekly community of like-minded people who understand the power of communing with Mother Earth. I am creating this as a global community of love and light. Every single Sunday, I will provide you with a download of love that has been sent from Mother Earth to me and from me to you. This work is not just about Black women. It started with Black women. I started in the vessel of a Black woman who started in the vessel of a Black woman because of unions with Black men. So don't get me twisted. I love Black people and I love my sister queens, but this work is so much larger than just us. Next slide, please. Next, you will see the acknowledgments of when I was in Guatemala. Next slide for references. So feel free to take a screenshot. I got 10 seconds and I promise to get finished. Next slide, please. Take a screenshot so you can see all the references and cite it in your work. Next slide, please. And that's me, y'all, right outside of my dome. So if I didn't answer your questions, feel free to email me. Next slide. My time is up.
Thank you so much, Dr. Omni. That was wonderful.
Thank you.
Yeah, and so I'll open it up to questions for Dr. Omni. See some great hands.
Love. Love.
Yeah.
Love. Thank you.
Well, I could start unless somebody else has a question. I guess one question I was wondering about is, I mean, it sounds like you've been engaged in this work and this building this research method actually for a while, right? Like, and I'm just curious about what might have surprised you in this journey, in this process. You know, like it seems like you've seen some transformation or some changes happen maybe at the beginning, and so I'm just curious about some of the surprises that maybe you encountered.
Excellent question.
Your work, yeah.
Excellent. Thank you. I will give you 2 surprises. People don't know how to rest. People don't know how to sit down, slow down, and be still. And I had to design my work as a stealth intervention. So inviting Black women to remove the metaphorical cape associated with being the strong Black woman, to say that this is a research study and I need your participation as a research participant. Really, I wanted them to slow down. And that was one of the surprises, that it was hard for them to just simply be present with themselves. The other one is a much longer answer, but it's related to seeing Spanish moss swinging from a tree. There was a research participant, and I asked all of them to take pictures of things that amplified their joy as we walked through the woods together. And she paused for an extended period of time, and her whole body shifted. And she said that she had to pause and gather herself because when she saw the Spanish moss, it reminded her of our ancestors and the lynchings and bodies hanging from the tree. And that's something I wasn't thinking about, because when I saw Spanish, and we share an ancestry and historical trauma, but I wasn't thinking that because I just saw Spanish moss. So that was surprising.
Yeah, and it sounds like a very kind of emotional, like a journey, I guess. Right?
It was. Thank you.
Okay, are there questions? We still have, oh yeah, go ahead, Hannah.
Yes, love.
Hi, thank you so much for grounding us in such a beautiful way. I loved your presentation. I'm just curious, you spoke so eloquently to notions of embodied knowledge. And of course, when we're doing autoethnography, it really involves being in a relationship with ourselves in a good way. But when you're working with others, what are some ways that you find can really get you into embodied knowledge? What are some ways that you can tap into embodied knowledge?
I love that. Thank you for that question, and also a segue for my book promotion. Because I work with research mentees all the time, and it got to the point where I'm like, let me just create a textbook. So I have a new textbook coming out by Routledge, and it is called Eco-Autoethnographic Research, a spiritually scientific exploration of surroundings and self. And I'll give you, and it's not even about hiding the secrets, but the secret is deep observation through the senses. When you are engaging in any type of research, ask yourself, what do you see? Because that's one of the first things that we do. What are you feeling? What are you smelling? Smell is equally important, because my daughter just called me yesterday, couldn't make this up. She called me yesterday and said, I smell white diamonds. My mama used to wear white diamonds, so her grandma. So what are you smelling? What are you seeing? What are you feeling? And also, what are you knowing right here through dreams? Tapping into your dream state is where I'm going next with this work, because my ancestors are communicating to me through my dreams, and I want to hold space to make sure that everybody knows that that is a valid form of knowledge production. I hope that answered your question.
Wonderful. It sounds like it did. And thank you again for that wonderful presentation.
Thank you.
We're gonna now move to the final presentation of our panel today. Let's see, Kyla Percival is here. Yes. Okay. And you're going to be sharing a presentation called Beyond Access: Understanding the Instructional and Psychosocial Adjustment of Deaf and Hard of Hearing Students at a Higher Education Institution in South Africa.